Alright, welcome to my very ramshackle video I threw together. Real quick to talk about X4 and the Split DLC as well as the new patch that was just put out, 3.0. So this is the first, and it's not an April Fool's joke, but I see a lot of questions being asked on the forums, and some of it's spot on from what I've experienced, some of it's not, so I just figured I'd kind of share my experience so far. Now, I apologize about the mic quality. I'm not a professional content creator. I don't got one of those ridiculous mics. And I'm using NVIDIA Shadowplay to capture this, so, it should still, the quality should be fine after YouTube gets around to transcoding it, because, when you first upload it, it goes to standard definition, and it takes them a while to post-process it into to high definition. But anyways, let's actually get into the Split DLC in 3.0. So my main game was on 2.6, and I did not partake in the experimental branch at all because I wanted to experience all the changes that Egosoft had done fresh from new. I also do not play with mods on fresh starts. I love the mods. I'll use those on a save maybe after I've achieved Empire Dominance or on a new start or something. I just kind of want to play around. But when a major patch like this comes along, I want to see what the developer envisioned for the game, not the tweaks of what some of the talented modders that are out there had. I want to see what in this case Egosoft had. So let's get right into it. So the Split DLC, first of all, the patch is amazing. Lots of quality of life improvements, lots of bugs squashed. That alone is almost like a patch to me. It's crazy how many things they've fine-tuned. So two things about Egosoft that we all know from playing the X games is that they put out games that are extremely buggy at launch, but then they get it done. Right, they iron the bugs out, they stay committed to the cause, they stay the course, so you just have to keep faith, right, and come back to it. And this one, I've ran into a couple bugs that are just kind of minor, nothing huge. So let's get into the Split DLC. So the Split, I don't know, I was not a huge player like the previous X games, so I don't know a lot of the lore behind them. They strike me as a very warlike, aggressive faction, and their architecture, as you can kind of see here in the background, kind of reflects on that. It's all angular, blood red, plated. It's definitely looks like a warrior race or culture, almost like the Klingons in a way, or if you're a Star Trek nerd or whatever, something along those lines. And with the DLC, they have two new starts. We have the Fires of Defeat and Spears of the Patriarch. Now, I don't want those to play out. I didn't want the audio to play out. What is very, very unique about these two new play starts is that you're on one side, there's a massive battle that happens, or I should say the aftermath of a battle, and if you choose one side, or one of the new start scenarios, you'll be on one side of the battle. If you choose the other one, it puts you on the other side of the battle. So it's very unique. So right from the get-go, you've been involved in this massive battle with huge repercussions. And it kind of sets a nice little tone. That's something really, really nice that I like that Egosoft is bringing to the game. It's immersing you a little more into the world, bringing your character more into it, so you less are defining the game yourself, although you very much do. You're less defining the game yourself. Oh, by the way, this is one of the new ships. This is their supply ship going by, just to kind of give you an idea of perspective. This isn't even their main when it's their supply ship. I'll show you the ships. We'll go through all that in a second. So anyways, yeah, they're no joke, and it's this new kind of direction that Egosoft's taken. I really hope that they continue with giving your guy like a narrative, like a little, like you don't need to follow it, but it's just kind of fleshing it out and immersing you and pulling you a little more into this sandbox world that you have, right? You feel like the factions are actually doing something and things are actually happening other than just spontaneous events. Like the spontaneous events are amazing, but then also have a little bit of background happening as well. You can juxtapose that to the rep grinds, right? We're all familiar with that have played this game, where you reach a certain point, you get a message, a mission that pops up that you're supposed to go talk to a faction representative, and it's like the universal translator just spat out the same exact line for them to all say, we've taken notice of your actions, yada yada, we've all heard the same thing, and if you screw up, we're gonna totally screw you up and you'll lose your privileges, but we don't see that happening. And it's kind of ridiculous that that's echoed across the whole thing, you know, and it kind of pulled you out of it a little, you know, it's just you knew what they were gonna say exactly when you would walk in there. So to see a little more deviation into it is nice. So now that I've showed you the 2 new starts, let me actually load my new save up. Now I chose the underdog of the battle, so there's clearly, you know, it's the aftermath of the battle. There is a winner and a loser. I'm not going to elaborate on it. I took the loser because I like the fact that you're starting off in a spacesuit. And that's really kind of cool to me. It's neat. The other side's cool too, because they have an objective and something they're going to be doing, and I don't want to ruin it for anybody who goes to play it. But starting off in a spacesuit, running out of oxygen, you know, after everything's just gone to hell is, to me, really kind of neat. Okay, so I am not at the station that I was hoping I was at. Looks like I am in an SCA territory, so let me get out of here.
Engage.
So as I fly over here and dock at this base, hopefully without getting knocked out of Super Cruise, you can kind of hear it ticking up, even a light scout ship. This thing's like a wet paper bag, man. It can't take any hits for the life of it. Again, it's got very much like an angular design to it. The cockpit is somewhat interesting.
Jaguar.
Somewhat interesting, you know, it's not really big, but, and then this is kind of opens up like a Ferrari kind of up to Tesla sort of thing, you know, stairs deploy from down there. Oops. Should probably get back in and re-engage that. Oh, come on, seriously. There we go. Not Control A, Shift A. So while I'm flying to this base, I just want to get somewhere safe where I can talk and not, you know, get hit by like a random patrol. But then I can remote into some of the bases and actually show you the ships. So, as well as some of the mission types. So the missions are kind of cool now, like Havita's, I'm probably murdering it, but Havita's Choice or whatever, they actually have like a semi-cutscened out thing going on now. That's kind of neat. It's cool, man. And there's like a step progression there, and my understanding is there's like at least a couple more like that, so I'm hoping that they, like I said, they continue this trend of immersive, kind of pull you in storylines. And wow, I didn't realize that this pirate base actually had maintenance docks and everything on it. But anyways, yeah, let me go ahead and just dock here real quick.
Disengage.
I'm actually here to buy some illegal goods.
Pirate base.
Already got that combat music playing, so that's fantastic. Weapon save. Alright. So let's get to the map and show you the new... Now I've not... the new sectors to the split. Now I've not, you know, by any means...
opportunity for some extra profit.
Alright, let's let this guy...
for new blood to help us with some of our operations.
Huh. That's new, I've never heard that.
Come find me.
There you go. That's something completely new I've never even heard before. So apparently the pirates want to talk to you too, and they play a huge portion now. The SCA, the pirate faction, is very much a part of the story. And I don't want to ruin that as well, but there's a lot going on with the Argon, the Hatgava, the SCA, and then the two factions, at least that I've discovered, and maybe more, but the two main kind of factions of the new split race. So this is what I've discovered so far. There may be more. There's at least one Xenon. I didn't exactly go for a tour ride in my wet paper bag ship, but you know, they do have their own trade station. I haven't even really kind of looked around in here. But here's the shipyard, so I won't be able to do an external view, but you already got kind of an idea of what the architecture is going to look like. Wares and stuff like that are going to look the same because they do for all races, right? And by wares, I mean if you go to build a station and you build a smart ship production facility, all of them look the same for all the races. I think the ones that only are different are like the food, because obviously the food for different races is different, and maybe the medical supplies. But with those exceptions, they're not. They all follow that angular red kind of warlike kind of neat plate thing that, you know, you can just go back to the loading screen at the beginning of the video and kind of check it out. So I'll show you some of the ships, and I've only been playing for, you know, a few hours, so I'm not that far into it. When we go to S-class ships, we have the Aspirator. Now there's no coloration on this, obviously. Obviously you'll be able to apply your own paint schemes to it, but, and I'm not going to go over all the hard points. I'll just kind of rotate around and you can kind of see, and then you'll have the numbers here to look at yourself. And I'll look at the weapon loadouts. I can't bring them up on a ship that I'm not able to buy, but, and then we have the Battlelore Heavy Fighter. Then we got the first ship that I can actually show you some of the parts for, and this is actually the ship that we're currently in. This is the Jaguar, and you know, their engine's got that same kind of red, blood red kind of crimson look, and if I'm not mistaken, I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that looks a little bit different, a little variations to the aesthetics. Here are the thrusters. Here are the shield generators, at least for small ships. And then the weapons are really, really interesting. I've seen some of the effects from them. In this case, like the neutron Gatling gun, you start with that. It's like a pea shooter, basically. It kind of sucks, but it doesn't overheat. You can just basically hold it down. Maybe the Mark II would be better, but I mean, ooh, that is a huge difference in price, so maybe, yeah, that would be a lot better. But I've seen the effects, and then the way they look on the ship is just mean, man. It's really cool. I wish I could actually kind of show you some of this stuff, you know, instead of just like the stuff you've already seen. But moving right along, there's no turrets. Obviously, we got our normal software, and then the rest of this you've all seen. So let's move right along. We got the minor ships, small. Yeah, granted, there's the bridge on this one. Not exactly fantastic, although that does look like a very spacious bridge, if that's the back. Surprisingly, for a small ship, that looks rather big. But I don't know, aesthetically I'm not really kind of drawn too much to that, but they all have that angular kind of look, or they look like an arrowhead, either going one direction or the other. It kind of really is pronounced on some of the ships I'll be showing you here in a minute. Here's this ship. Once again, looks like a somewhat large cockpit area. Anyways, that covers it for small. We go to medium. We got the Alligator class gas transport miner, or mining ship, I mean. Yeah, your stereotypical set. That looks about the same bridge size for a medium class ship. But, you know, there's your layouts. And there we go with that arrowhead kind of design that I was talking about, where it seems to start kind of evolving as you get into bigger ships, especially. Same thing, just the this alligator's just gonna same type, except it's doesn't have gas as mineral storage areas. You have the boa transport, so use your transport stock medium trade ship with the bridge located far in the aft here. These look really, really cool when they're flying in space and you got that blood red look and you got the turrets mounted on them and stuff. They look mean, man, trust me. But let's look at some. That's the shield generators. Kind of got like a how would I kind of put it? It almost reminds me of like a V8 look, especially with the bigger ones. You know, they have these like nodules sticking out and stuff. It's kind of cool. Turrets for the medium class turrets, you know, they look pretty mean when they're on there, man. They've got that kind of plating look. As I said, it's the ships, the aesthetic's really nice. People are complaining about it. I think they look amazing. And then a Dragon Rider, medium class attack ship. So I guess this would be your variant of the Nemesis. You would have to go over the numbers. You know, the Nemesis, we all know, turns like a boat, but it's a beast when it comes to firepower. This looks like it's got the same amount of hard points, but I would have to compare the numbers and see. And you know, I obviously fly it. It's got the same amount of turret spots. Looks like shield generators in a probably less than advantageous spot, unless that engine's really big. Somebody's on your rear end, they're really going to be tagging that thing. But then again, I guess where would you put that, right? Maybe center line. I don't know. But that covers it for the medium ships. Let's move to a large shipyard. So, go to buy some ships from here. We got large. Got our Buffalo freighter. Again, almost looks like a warship. Very, very interesting design. As I said, you know, the medium. Yeah, there's the nodules, the engines. Yeah, so look at that. That is like what you're used to seeing in the game, and then like here's the split. Like it's got like multiple. I don't know, man. That's really kind of cool. I think. Yeah, that's what I was saying. The large look really kind of crazy. If I zoom in on that, it looks almost like an engine, like a mean engine on a ship. You know, or I mean, like a futuristic mean engine. It's pretty neat. At least I think it is. If we look at some of these large turrets, again, I can't even put them on there to show them to you, but trust me, they look pretty inspiring. Got a Rattlesnake destroyer. You will see this in the beginning of the game if you choose one of the new split starts. Thing's pretty mean looking. Got a lot of armaments. Looks like you have 40 small ship spots and lots of turrets, and it looks like maybe main batteries. I'm going to assume these are, at least probably these two are maybe being batteries. I don't know. I have no idea because I can't choose anything. Then we got the miners, you know, again, nothing to be overly excited about. This is probably where they deploy the drones from, and I'm going to assume the bridge is right there. So we got a couple landing pads here as well. So not fantastic, not bad. Moving right along. Of course, this one's going to look the exact same, except it's a mineral. So we'll move on to the XL. The Elephant. All the races are the exact same for the Mammoth style kind of building ships, so nothing new there. Now we get into the really cool stuff. So you saw this in the cutscene. This is their auxiliary ship. See the armaments on this thing from the bottom. Not too heavily armed, but it can carry 40 small ships, 10 medium ships, and then it has 10 docks. So this is you know, like I guess a carrier. I guess you could kind of look at it, and you got your little spots here. It's pretty mean looking. I would have really liked it if they had like a huge battery here, like a rail cannon or something, you know, in line with this whole thing, like kind of, that'd be neat. But this is like the crowning glory, I think. This thing looks almost like a super Star Destroyer if you were to, you know, from Star Wars, if you were to extend go with the angles out, but they, you know, they're clipping it in. It's got kind of a sleek, neat look. It's ridiculous amount of emplacements on it. Mainly on the top, but along the spine, definitely have a lot of turrets, man. But what's really, really cool that I noticed when I was rotating this around earlier is this. As you can see, there's like a ramp going down, and I think that may be maybe a landing bay or something in there for ships. But that's a very, very interesting look and a very, very cool looking ship. I'm definitely going to have these in my fleet unless they're, you know, I'm going to have them on my fleet regardless. I mean, the thing just looks amazingly awesome. So anyways, that's it for the splits. I hope that I've kind of helped. Video said 20 minutes. I didn't want to go over 20 minutes. So if you guys liked the video and you want to see some more, put some comments down below. I've got no problem, especially during this time when we're all stuck in the house anyways. I'll make some videos up. Again, I apologize. You know, I'm not professional at this. I don't have any edits or, you know, transitions or anything like that because I'm not looking to do that. But I'm more than happy to show the game off to anyone who's interested. So you guys, happy gaming. Be safe out there. And hope you guys pick it up. If you're watching this, my advice, closing advice, if you're watching this, you're an X4 fan or you're on the fence, just get it. It's worth it. Support Egosoft because they really did a great job with this and the patch. The patch is incredible. But yeah, take it easy guys and catch you later.